Rashad, why you
Anyways,
didn't hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit.
What's up,
Any-
Rashad?
yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 10K subs, man. Without further ado, let's get into it. I have about an hour and a half. Let's see how much I can do in an hour and a half, but I got to give you about it. Anyways, Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is his top story from yesterday and things of that sort. So let's get into it without further ado. Shouts out to my brother Phil Lewis as always. I hope you guys are having a happy and blessed Sunday morning. If you haven't watched Sunday service live stream, go ahead and watch it. I need to take my own advice and watch some Sunday service today too before NFL gets started. But ex-NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was jabbed in Indianapolis, and then he was arrested for his alleged role in the incident later in the day. And yeah, shout out my brother Phil Lewis. Shout out to the Huffington Post. Y'all make sure y'all support the Huffington Post. Tight. This is by Marco Margridov and Hillary Hansen. The Fox Sports analyst is in stable condition after being jabbed, but he has been arrested for his alleged role in the incident. Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez was hospitalized Saturday after being jabbed in Indianapolis, Indiana in the early morning, then arrested for his alleged role in the incident later in the day. Sanchez, now a commentator for Fox and Fox Sports 1, is now facing charges of battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication, the Indianapolis Metro Police Department said in a statement on social media. The department noted that Sanchez remained hospitalized and has not been yet booked into jail. Fox Sports said in the statement made prior to the news that Sanchez's arrest that he was recovering from the injury is in stable condition. "Quote unquote, we are deeply grateful to the medical team for the exceptional care and support," the statement continued. "Our thoughts and prayers are with Mark, and we ask that everyone please respect his and his family's privacy during this time." Sanchez, 38, was reportedly scheduled to be part of a Fox Sports broadcast of the team covering Sunday's game between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts in Lucas Oil Stadium in town. Officers from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department responded to a call about a disturbance in an alley around 12:30 a.m. Saturday, according to the local news outlet WTHR. The call noted that one person had been jabbed and another one had been injured. The disturbance reportedly occurred outside of a pub near the intersection of Washington Street and North Senate Avenue, per WTHR. An unidentified suspect in the jab has been arrested, according to the outlet. The former great USC great played 8 seasons in the NFL after being selected 5th overall in the 2009 draft by the New York Jets. He guided the Jets to 2 consecutive AFC championship games in his first 2 seasons. Sanchez also played for the Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders, Dallas Cowboys, and Denver Broncos. His last appearance in the NFL came during a regular season game with the Commanders in 2018. And so there that is. You know, you have some people in the social media world and stuff saying that it was a bar fight. He got into a bar fight and things of that sort. It just seems like a lot going on regardless of what it was. And here's the morning update. Let me see. This is yesterday. Update number 1: upon further investigation and the follow consultation with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, IMPD arrested 38-year-old Mark Sanchez for his alleged role in the incident. Sanchez was arrested at the hospital for battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication, all which are misdemeanors. All involved parties have been identified, and no further individuals are being sought by detectives. Sanchez is still in the hospital, has not been booked into the Adult Attention Center. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office will make the final charging decision. An arrest is merely an accusation, and Sanchez should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. IMPD does not release the probate cause affidavits. Those must be obtained by Marion County Prosecutor's Office or the Marion County Clerk Office. And then this is this morning. No, this is still yesterday. Police say Mark Sanchez was arrested at the hospital for battery with injury, unlawful entry, and motor vehicle and public intoxication, all which are misdemeanors. He's still in the hospital and has not been booked. So they're saying, has he been booked or not? We don't know. We don't know. But yeah, there's that. Just what is actually going on, we still don't know. Is there any updates? Any new updates on like whether he's out of jail? Is he, you know what I mean? Is he, what's going on? Oh, they got surveillance video now? Fox 59's got surveillance video. Is this it? Let me see. They say they got surveillance video of Mark Sanchez. For anybody just joining, Mark Sanchez, you know, he's been arrested while he was in a hospital after getting jabbed in a alleged bar fight in Indianapolis a day before he was covering the Indianapolis Colts game. So I'm trying to see this footage that they say exists and things of that sort. So let me see if I could find it. If any surveillance video of Mark Sanchez. Let me see. All right, hold on. Mark Sanchez surveillance video. I don't see nothing. I literally see nothing on social media about surveillance video of Mark Sanchez, bro. Let me see. So Mark Sanchez, he attacked the Uber Eats driver. He got pepper sprayed, jabbed, prayed for, arrested, and probably fired all on his day off. It's the most jet stuff can ever happen. Another man listed as a victim in a police report told the police he was delivering food when Sanchez told him he needed to move and couldn't park where he was. That man told police Sanchez started threatening and following him, and then he attacked him. The man said he first tried to pepper spray Sanchez, but it didn't work. He said that was at the time he defended himself with a weapon. Police noted that the man had significant injury to his face. Sanchez was not cooperative with the police when he first arrived on the scene. Oh, that's some true loser stuff, if that's true. If that's the case, that's some true loser stuff, bro. I'm not going to lie. You're going to get blasted at the pub, fight the Uber Eats driver, the DoorDash driver. You attack him. Mark Sanchez got to be like what? To what? Mark Sanchez is 6'2". What's his weight? Mark Sanchez 6'2", 225, attacking an Uber Eats driver, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he attacking an Uber Eats driver, bruised his face, everything like that. He drunk, snapping on the DoorDash driver. And the DoorDash driver said, what I'm supposed to do? I got a 6'2", 225, man, beating me up. I got bruises all on my face. What I'm supposed to do? Self-defense. Mark Sanchez, you a buster if that's the case, brother. Next, a teenager was mistaken for a squirrel. Bro, what? From Sky News. This, without, you know what I'm saying, essential cookies only. I don't know what to say. You can't even say no cookies. You can't even, view options. I should have did that. Teenager shot unalive after being mistaken for a squirrel. Carson Ryan is said to be accidentally hit in the back of the head while hunting squirrels in Iowa. An investigation is underway. Oh my gosh, bro. This is Iowa. A teenager has been unalived after a fellow member of his hunting party mistook him for a squirrel, officials said. Carson Ryan was hit in the back of the head while on a hunting trip in a Brighton area of Iowa, according to a statement issued by Iowa Department of Natural Resources. The 17-year-old, quote unquote, was mistaken for a squirrel by a member of his hunting party, the statement said. He was taken to the UI Healthcare Medical Center where he passed from his injuries. The Iowa Department of Natural Resources said it responded to the incident. Excuse me, along with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. It described it as an accidental ooting, but said the unaliving is currently under investigation. The number of tributes were made to Carson, including from his Washington boys track and field team, which has to keep Carson's mom, family, classmates, and teammates in your hearts as we continue to navigate the devastating loss of Carson. Our hearts are broken, the group added. An online fundraiser was set up to support the family and it has raised more than $55,000. Dang. Its organizer, Kelsey Wheeler, said, quote unquote, our dear friend Heidi is facing an unimaginable tragedy. Her beloved son, Carson, was taken far too soon in a tragic accident. No parent should ever have to experience such a heartbreaking loss. and our hearts are broken alongside hers. Yeah, that is what? Huh? The way I saw this, it was like on Twitter, someone was reacting to it like a Toy Story, and it was like Andy saying, "What? How?" That's ridiculous, bro. I think obviously after the family grieves and stuff like that, use some of that $50,000. Anything you have left over from the funeral, bro. Anything you have left over from the service, use that for lawyer fees and sue them little boys, man. Them little boys not slick, and even if they were right, if they were slick and it was an accident, right? 16, 17-year-old boys don't need to be out hunting by themselves, bro. The hunting group doesn't need to be all dudes under 18, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just irresponsible. I feel like that's irresponsible on who let them out there. And obviously, this Sky News, I believe, it's like UK news, right? Is from the UK. And of course, even despite it being Sky News, this happened in America. This is the only country where stories and situations like these are possible. And rest in peace to Mr. Carson. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's avoidable tragedy. To be honest, it's avoidable tragedy, and prayers up to him, man. You know what I'm saying? But there's something that has to be done. You know what I'm saying? I hate to just sound like folks, right? But something has to be done in this country in regards to like the access to firearms and all of these things. Like, we have to tighten up the restrictions or something, because why are a group of teenagers out in the wild, in the country, in the woods, hunting for a bunch of squirrels, going squirrel hunting? They're all under, I would assume most of them are under 18. Like this, I'd assume this is another teenager that did it. If it's an adult, then dang, do better. And I bet you feel stupid now, but a group of teenage boys do not need to be hunting squirrels together in the woods, bro. If they do it with a BB gun. Do it on some BB gun stuff. You know what I'm saying? You hit them with the BB gun. Ooh. Like, y'all going out there with real guns? It's crazy, bro. That's crazy. This is America, though. I'm saying, for sure. All right, next. Napheesa said it's beyond repair. She said ain't nothing you can do about it. It's over with, twin. Breaking news. Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa-Cathy has canceled her meeting with WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert next week. Sources tell me and Ramona Shelburne. Engelbert's press conference on Friday pushed the relationship beyond repair, quote unquote. Here we go with the story. ESPN shouts out to Ramona Shelburne. Shout out to Kendra Andrews. Oh, Ramona Shelburne, she was in some stuff though. When they found out, homie was lying about, they took my mic. They tried to silence me at media day, and it's like, Kawhi only got 7 minutes to speak, and you took like a minute and a half just asking him the same question about the ongoing investigation. Like, let other people ask questions, especially if this is the Clippers media day, bro. Like, I get asking offbeat questions, and it'd be crazy because it'd be the same folks that's calling that like the real journalism, quote unquote, and then like look down on people who ask questions like, you know what I'm saying, who's your favorite rapper? Who's your top 5 rappers? What's your favorite shoes? And who your favorite comedians? Stuff like that, bro. People be like, oh, you wasted your question on that. Bro, it's media day, bro. Like, that's the day that you ask questions like that. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just crazy. Anyways, let's get to the story. Minnesota Lynx for Napheesa-Cathy has canceled her meeting with the WNBA Commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, next week. Sources tell ESPN on Saturday. Now, the deadline for, to come to an agreement on the CBA to avoid a WNBA lockout in 2026 is October 31st. At the time I'm recording this, it's October 5th. We're headed into game 2 of the WNBA Finals in a couple hours. And yeah, so the series might be over in a week and a half or so. And so, that leads you with, that will be, say that's the 8th and then the 15th. So say that's that leaves you with 16 days of WNBA offseason to come up with an agreement. if you don't come to an agreement, and it doesn't look like they're anywhere close to getting to an agreement, because the vice president of the Players Association now says that her relationship with the commissioner is beyond repair, you're headed to a lockout. We're seeing a lockout in 2026. Like I said, what I want is Unrivaled to play 2 seasons. One season that they originally played, which is like the January to April joint. Have a draft when you will have the WNBA draft, and then get back to work, say June, July, and give me 2 seasons of Unrivaled to make up for the lockout. Because why not, bro? Let's just watch some 3-on-3 basketball on TNT and play back. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Collier had previously texted Engelbert that she was open to meeting with her next week to discuss the criticism of Engelbert and the league at her news conference on Tuesday. But Engelbert's assertion at Friday's news conference that Collier's depiction of the private conversation between them was filled with inaccuracies has, quote unquote, pretty much pushed the relationship beyond repair, as one source put it. Elise Wolfsperson told ESPN that Collier had not yet notified Engelbert that she was canceling the meeting. Engelbert said on Friday vehemently denied, saying that Caitlin Clark and other standouts, quote unquote, should be on their knees in gratitude because of the platform that the league has given them, as Collier claimed. Quote unquote, I did not make those comments, Engelbert said at our annual news conference ahead of game 1 of the WNBA finals. Quote unquote, there's a lot of inaccuracy out there through social media and all of this reporting, Engelbert said. Quote unquote, I highly respect the players. There is a lot of emotion and passion going on right now between collective bargaining. I'm obviously disheartened. Engelbert acknowledged that there is a lot of work for her to do to rebuild the trust of the players, but she is confident that she will be able to do so. Players across the league came out to support Collier with their criticisms of the WNBA, including Clark, who said the Link star made, quote unquote, valid points. So that was Caitlin's thing. She said she made valid points. Dang, that's crazy. The top of the day, Big Nate. Top of the day, conspiracy theory. Man, this is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy. But we'll see what happens with that situation and things of that sort. We're gonna keep it moving. Chicago raid ICE after threatening with Trump. We're gonna invade Chicago. They've invaded Chicago with ICE, and someone said that it looks like HE double hockey sticks in South Shore residents. These are all black areas from what I'm understanding that they raided. And look at this, bro. Look at this window, bro. It's ridiculous. South Shore Drive. Let's click on this from the book club. This book club, Chicago. Shouts out to No Name, bro, doing sensational things, bro. I'm not gonna lie. No, this is Block Club, Chicago. I'm sorry. But shouts out to No Name anyway. South Shore residents returned to the ransacked apartments after the ICE raid. "Quote unquote, it looks like HE double August 6. A quote unquote now written sign outside touts granite countertops inside. Residents are trying to make sense of the raid that made their already neglected building even worse." This was written by Mac Lederman. Shout out to Mac Lederman. South Shore. He's an Army veteran now retired after 3 decades of working for the U.S. Postal Service. Federal agents pounded on his South Shore apartment door about 2 a.m. on Tuesday. "Quote unquote, I told them they must have the wrong apartment," the man said. But armed agents busted wide open doors, arriving in U-Haul trucks to raid the 130-unit apartment building at 7500 South Shore Drive. They woke up residents to handcuff them with zip ties and led them into unmarked vans. Roderick Johnson, a U.S. citizen, said he heard people, quote unquote, dropping on the roof before FBI agents kicked in the door. He was stuffed inside a van with his neighbors for what felt like several hours until agents told him that the building was clear, he said. "Quote unquote, they didn't tell me that I was being detained," Johnson said. "They left people's doors open, firearms, money, whatever, right there in the open." A Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said the federal agencies arrested at least 37 people in an operation in the building, which they claim to be as frequented by members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. About 300 federal agents, some landing on the roof of helicopters. Oh my goodness. Descending on the bed. You got to do all that to get into an apartment building? According to News Nation, which was invited along for the operation. Jeez Louise. The report didn't mention women or children appear to be among the detained, said Brandon Lee, a spokesperson with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. Organizers worry many people were taken without warrants, quote unquote. These were families with their children escorted out in the middle of the night, Lee said. The administration is using PR efforts to try to turn communities against their neighbors. Residents said the building had become home to Venezuelan migrants. The raid saw people's apartments turned upside down, citizens held for hours, and their neighbors were being taken away from unknown places. Belongings were stolen from their apartments after the agents left the building open. The Army veteran who went blind recently and asked not to use his name said the agents moved on to the next apartment after coming to his home. I was trying to protect myself, he said. My nerves were shook. By Wednesday afternoon, the building appeared largely abandoned by residents. Unsigned waivers allowing the DHS to disclose, quote unquote, records about you to a third party were in the front gates of the, quote unquote, know your rights flyers. Broken windows scattered the property. Anyone could just walk in. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, bro. An apartment's unit door has been busted open from a room flooded with water damage at 7500 S South Shore Drive in South Shore on October 1st. The apartment building was raided by federal agents the morning before. Jeez Louise, bro. That's sad, man. Dan Jones stood outside with police officers to file a report after his valuables from the mattress and iPad down to his air dryer were stolen after agents broke his door. They said Cameron Lacey. This is another thing. They said the Houston police, after he unalived himself and stuff like that in a car, like they took his number 2 chain and like they never gave it back to like his family. It's stuff like that. I just be like, bro, that's just evil to me, bro. Jones slept at an aunt's house following the raid and returned to find clothing and garbage that wasn't all over his apartment floor. A small moving crew said they've been hired after the raid to clear out the now vacant units, but didn't say by who. Doors were boarded up. In one room, there were zip ties and blood stains on the floor next to the baby shoes. Flies swarmed around the open fridges. Water damage had caved in ceilings. Strollers and air conditioners and more things were left behind, blocked behind the middle of the dark hallways. The lobby elevators were broken with their buttons perpetually lit and down arrow. There was a strong odor everywhere. Jones said the building's quote unquote dirty conditions predated the raid, but this was the most he's ever seen. It was the first of the month and rent was due. It looks like HE double hockey sticks, Jones said. ICE is really just a gang. Jones said that he'd been cordial with the Venezuelans who moved onto his floor. Quote unquote, they were cool people, Jones said. We took it upon ourselves to at least keep it clean over here. Residents said problems at the property started after a new management company was brought on over a year ago. Cleanings became less regular. 2 armed security guards were removed, they said. That led to squatters, Jones said. The Army veteran was guided through a mess in the lobby on Wednesday by a caretaker. He couldn't see the worst of it. The former postman complained of his mail being routinely stolen and that he'll have to keep living in the building as he tries to find somewhere else. Quote unquote, it was a good place to live when I first got here, he said. The building's ownership traces back to Wisconsin-based investor Trinity Flood, according to public records. Flood is facing a $27 million foreclosure lawsuit for not making loan payments on 3 South Shore properties she bought for $18 million in 2020, according to The Real Deal. The city also filed suit in February against Flood LLCs for over 15 building code violations at the South Shore Drive property dating back to 2023, seeking that it will be put under new receivership according to the court records. The building failed its past 14 annual inspections. So how do you say open as an apartment building if you fail 14 consecutive inspections? According to the data from the City Department of Buildings, quote unquote, building throughout the fire extinguishers are mission. City lawyers wrote in this legal complaint, all stairways are filthy and strong smell of urine. Oh my goodness. Flood cannot be reached, and the building's management company, Strength and Management, did not return requests for comment. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord have mercy. This isn't America? The property was most recently estimated at under $3 million market value, according to the Cook County Assessor's Office. An online listing has it up for sale for more than $15 million as a part of the Jackson Park portfolio with 2 other South Shore buildings. The listing agent, Finley Askin, did not return a request for comment. Capital improvements to the portfolio consist of updated electric, plumbing, newer windows, on-site laundry, and renovated units. The listing reads, A now renting sign outside of it lists a number of for the safe harbor reality, but Agent Curtis Crowlock said the company hasn't managed the property in over 2 years. They never took it down, Crowlock said. Dang. Since June, police have reported multiple crimes on 7,400 and 7,500 blocks of South Shore Drive, including 2 Amai Uring and 2 robberies, according to the city data. City crime outlet CWB reported that Jose Corando Meza, 25, accused of being a Tren de Aruga member, was charged with unaliving in June, with officials saying that he unalived another migrant inside the building. Jonah Karsh, a community organizer with the Metropolitan Tenants Organization, had tried to unionize the tenants in August 2024 after a gas leak left some functional stoves for over a month. The conditions, quote unquote, were deplorable before the raid and has only deteriorated. Oh my gosh. The management was primarily responsible for failing to maintain the property and security. Walls on the building's second floor were spray painted Venezuela, but it was unclear when. Many of the floor's units had broken doors and appeared to be home of young children. Oh my goodness. South Shore had been a landing spot for many Venezuelans where tens of thousands of migrants were bused from the southern border to Chicago and other Democratic-led cities. People stayed at shelters there and then found apartments, Lee said. At one point, migrants who received help through the state rental assistance program were living in the building, Carr said. That funding was set up to run out within months. Carr said he kept in contact with leasing tenants who did not have their doors broken or marked during the raid. Those residents have since been sent instructions about receiving new keys. As of today, all points of entry of the building will be secured, a strengthened management employee wrote in the email. Keys will be delivered to the active tenants. Jones' eyes welled in tears as he looked around at the destroyed apartments. He wants to move on. Rebuilding would be harder. My place was nice, he said. On his way out, he still tried to close the door. Oh my gosh, bro. Jeez Louise, man. This don't even look like America, bro. Oh yeah, kid definitely lived here, man. Kid definitely lived here. The pajamas, McDonald's, the little sippy cup. Dang. Shouts out to Block Club Chicago. This is a great story. They say it's independent journalism. Great story, great outlet. Migrant Trap House. Well, it was maintained until Tren de Aruga was in control of it. I'm sure the operating room was clean beforehand. LL Chancellor Rapper's garbage politician is now defending Tren de Aruga. Huh? Illicite unit. Joint was a hole before I showed up. Sign up to become a home. All right, bro. People have no type of empathy, bro. 2 weeks before the... How you know this was before the raid? According to who? Let me see. Not the same unit. Nice try, though. Citation needed. Where's the furniture, though? It's evil. Right in front of a school, poor traumatized kids, all to placate the ego of a pathetic fascist. Ironically, it's not far off from the bridges of the Blues Brothers made the Nazis fly. I hate Illinois Nazis. This needs to stop. It looked like that before, just less criminals. A lot of their cribs were already dirty. Not for nothing, but it looks like that's how they live. It looks like an apartment in Chicago that's occupied by freeloaders. It was a program. Where's the furniture? Stage pick. Excellent. It looked like that before ICE raided. Drug hideout. Decent reporting, but who was paying rent, though? I know for a fact Venezuelan gang members were collecting rent at other properties, and they took over the building. Unfortunately, circumstances which were made worse by the city were not taking care of these major issues. They sold the dressers and closets, am I right? LOL, that was a squatter. Mike Lederman, you are such a lion scumbag. That place was a crack house dump before the illegals were being arrested. People have no type of empathy, bro. Shouts out to Mike, though. Shouts out to Mike, man. Mike, man. If you know, you know. Let me see. Let me see. Like, why did you cancel the meeting? She's a co-founder of Unrivaled and VP and didn't exactly respond and didn't expect her to respond. Facts. That's insane. Yeah. See, this is another issue with the HOA management just collecting money and look at the negligence. 100%. I'm not going to lie, bro. Like, how we paying HOA fees, how we paying fees, every month to stay here. And some people don't get, like, You get kicked out here. In my building, you get kicked out. They sent the list. They say, look, if any of y'all's pets leave anything anywhere out here, y'all out. Immediate eviction. We just got that note. Me personally, I ain't seen nothing like that crazy around the apartment, around the building, but they said that. And I feel like you got to have that standard, bro. If we're going to be paying this money, you got to have some type of standard, bro. But it is crazy that it was like this before the raid, bro. And at the same time, people like empathy. Like, where the heck, like, you know what I'm saying? Your first thing is to jump to is like, oh, the Venezuelans deserved it. Like, dang, bro. Like, you ain't got no type of, I feel bad and stuff like that. Anyways, Chicago police officers and federal agents, ICE, this was still going on. They were protesting ICE being in town. And this is, wow. It looks like, dang, it looks like LA, bro. When LA was going through his stuff this summer. Dang, man. Jeez Louise. Hey, just prayers up, you know what I'm saying, to the people in Chicago, Community Castle.
Make clear. We love to ruin our city. We won't disappear. We love to ruin our city.
Oh, it's AI. Whatever. All DACA. And it's better than I expected. This is what I voted for. Yeah, see, people have like no type of empathy. I mean, that's how we got here in the first place. But geez Louise, man, this junk is sad. Speaking of sad, bro, Trey Reed update. Trey Reed, so the young man who went to Delta State University, I believe he was either 20 or 21 when he was found, quote unquote, I guess, allegedly from a tree on campus. You know, there's an autopsy done, an immediate one, and they said no foul play was suspected. They labeled it as self-inflicted. So Colin Kaepernick, he decided to pay for the independent autopsy done, and that autopsy showed some different results. And everybody else, you know, they pretty much felt kind of weird about it. Another man in Mississippi, a homeless white man in Mississippi, closer to the Jackson area and stuff like that, he was also found from a tree in Mississippi, like around the same time period. It happened in like the same week or two. It's crazy. Shout out Black Enterprise for the story. Shout out Daniel Johnson for writing it. Kaepernick funded autopsy reportedly finds Trey Reed didn't do it by himself. Family attorney Brent Kump hasn't confirmed. Although unconfirmed by Reed's family. Oh, dang. Extra E right here, Daniel. A new cause of unaliving claims to spread online. According to an update to a report from the Chicago Crusader, activists who are working with the family of Demetravion Trey Reed and a verified source who is not authorized to comment publicly, the independent autopsy commissioned by Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Right Camp autopsy initiative, which has not been yet released to the public, will confirm what Black people already instinctively knew. Reed did not do it by himself, as the Cleveland, Mississippi Police Department initially alleged. As previously reported by Black Enterprise, after Reed's family and civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump challenged the initial ruling that the Delta State University student was unalive by himself, and on September 15th, and demanded transparency and a thorough investigation, Colin Kaepernick's organization stepped in to fund an independent autopsy to uncover the truth. Per a report from the Mississippi Clarion Ledger, shouts out to the CL, although the official autopsy has not been released to the public yet, some of the initial commentary and rumors around his unaliving, amplified on social media, connected his passing of a white homeless man, Corey Zukatis, whose unaliving was also ruled self-inflicted. As they noted, the Southern Poverty Law Center found that there have been at least 8 suspected people found by a tree by Black men and teens in Mississippi since 2000. And like Reed's case, local authorities have ruled that these unalivings were self-inflicted, that is, self-inflicted. While their families cast doubt on the official narrative given by the historical context of findings by trees in Mississippi and other southern states. Part of the reason for the rampant speculation and conspiracy theories has spread online, traced by the podcast, wherein Crystal Muhammad, the chair of the new Black Panther Party, asserted that in a conversation with rapper Willie D, that Reed's mother taught to her what is reportedly in the autopsy report. So they said they found him like September 15th. Let me see something real quick. September 15th, September 10th. Okay. I thought so, but it's been a month, so I had to get the timing right. It should be noted that Southern Poverty Law Center and that the original Black Panther Party have denounced the quote-unquote new Black Panther Party, noted that it bears no associations with the original group. In addition to this, misinformation about Reed's unaliving spread after the initial autopsy was released. A person behind an account who claimed to be Reed's cousin alleged that he had injuries, specifically broken bones, that would have made the unaliving by himself physically impossible. Although the creator deleted those videos, they already had gone viral online. As Terry Wilson, the founder of the Idaho chapter of Black Lives Matter grassroots chapter, told the Crusader, the response to Black Americans is rooted in a shared historical memory and context. Quote unquote, this sophisticated machinery of racial terror is just a fascist strategy that relies on overwhelming force of multiple directions, including misinformation, intimidation, and threats. Wilson said, like Kendrick Johnson down in Valdosta, Georgia, if you know, he was found rolled up in a mat. And, people just saying like he didn't roll himself up in a mat. He was obviously beaten up, but like, was he beaten up, then unalived himself and then rolled himself into a gym mat in a high school? Like, that makes no sense. And like, justice was never kind of fully brought to Kendrick Johnson as far as I'm concerned, unless some updates happen. If you guys know any updates with Kendrick Johnson that's different from what I know, then please let me know in the comments and correct me. But yeah, and state-sanctioned unalivings that target Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. He continued, quote unquote, we need to address this method of findings of the tree that are self-inflicted, which are ways to rationalize from a medical standpoint their feelings. I think that this is sort of the passing rattle for white supremacy because they're relying on every structural institution in order to justify or cover up the actions on these folks. However, according to the New York Times, the 20-year-old state student who happened upon Reed's body, Jaquan Wallace, while he is sympathetic to the family of Reed, absent the release of the second independent autopsy, he isn't inclined to automatically tie Mississippi's past to the body he found. Quote unquote, we're just trying to look out for each other. A lot of people are trying to use this situation to kind of make it seem like it was racially motivated. Oh, my son, my child, he's 20, he's 19, he's 18. This kid, oh my goodness. Oh, brother. I know his mama saw this quote and boy, smacked him upside the head. I just know it. There's a lot of signs pointing to, man, look, I was 17 too. At one point, I was 17 too, bruh. There's a lot of signs pointing to this that is not a racially motivated situation. When that the whole story comes out, if it does come out, then it may give people some clarity. It may not. That's not up to us. Now, I will say I did go to Trey Reed's Facebook, and he shared a lot of like just sad posts about like multiple things, ups and downs of life. Like when men go through it, we have no one to talk to, that type of stuff, like raw wave type stuff. However, this is still, you know what I'm saying? There is a natural curiosity of like, is that really what happened? Mississippi's Republican governor, Tate Reeves, took a similar tack in his response to the incident, noting in his official statement, quote unquote, speculation from people who have no facts or evidence have dominated online conversations. What a surprise from Tate Reeves. The former place where I used to vote, former place where I used to live, my former governor, Tate Reeves. What a surprise. This is the stance he's taking. See, there's a few things when certain situations happen and people have one opinion automatically and stuff like that. It's not necessarily the opinion or anything. It's just like, of course, you, with your history of your ways of thinking, that just makes things more offensive than even just a pure opinion. If you have a pure opinion, different opinion, that's fine. It's the historical patterns of these opinions. Anyways, speculation from people who have no facts or evidence have dominated online conversations and even some national mainstream media outlets in the immediate aftermath of this tragedy. Governor Reeves said in response, quote unquote, represents a sad state of affairs in today's social media driven world. Perhaps this is always going to be the route of the suspicious unaliving in Mississippi took, regardless of the rumors fueled by social media or the incident's timing, following the attempt by the right to sanitize the legacy of Charlie Kirk, a white nationalist, after he allegedly was hit by Tyler Robinson, who reportedly become disillusioned by Kirk's beliefs. Michael Peter, Delta State University's director of public safety and a second officer who arrived at the scene of Reed's unaliving, acknowledged that an independent investigation of Reed's unaliving could draw a very different conclusion from the original statement of the police department, but noted that whatever the conclusion, he also believes that it will be based on facts. Once the investigation is over, then folks can see for themselves. I'm not a fortune teller, but I can tell you that we will see the facts, Peeler told the New York Times. And there it is. With this happening the same week as the Kyron Lacey stuff, even though the Kyron Lacey stuff was already out, which I thought it was the thing. Were criminal charges ever filed? No, because they immediately ruled it as self-inflicted. Like the official, initial report was self-inflicted. So no criminal charges. Nobody was arrested. Trey Reed is just unalive, and his family has been grieving the passing for almost a month now. So there's that. In Cleveland, Mississippi. Reading books for at least 6 minutes a day helps you become less stressed. And I saw that and I said, what? Oh, heavy emphasis on sometimes. And it said, sometimes you don't need a blunt, you need a book. And then No Name posted a picture of her with a blunt. And she's like, sometimes you can have both. No Name's been posting a lot lately. She's been going and hiding. She deleted all her social media. She had a couple of controversies and stuff like that. Ended up deleting her social media. Now she's like slowly kind of coming back, I guess, announcing her rollout return to social media via her book club pages. But yeah. So I saw this note. I said, that's a nice stat. But of course, you can't just go off a tweet. So I looked it up, and WebMD said exactly. Health benefits of reading books. This was published in November 2024. Levels of stress, depression, and anxiety are especially high in today's hectic world. It can be hard to find time for self-care, and especially hard to find time for leisure activities like reading. It's worth to try to fit some reading in your life, though, as consistent reading can benefit your health. All right, reading books is good for you. Reading books can offer many benefits to your overall health. While these benefits primarily help the brain, they can also benefit your body. Reading reduces stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety in the U.S. are at an all-time high in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. A 2022 poll conducted by the American Psychological Association found that, quote unquote, 27% of respondents said that most days they felt so stressed that they couldn't even function. Stressors included inflation, violence and crime, politics, and the racial climate. 76% said the future of the U.S. was a source of the stress. Women aged 18 to 34 reported that more stress than older women and men. 76% reported that stress affected their physical health. Reading is an excellent method of reducing stress. A 2009 study from Mind Lab International at the University of Sussex found that reading was able to reduce the stress levels by 68%. That made it more effective than any other soothing activities like taking a walk or listening to music. In general, meditative activities that force you to focus on a single task can reduce stress. Reading that has added a benefit of engaging your mind and forcing your brain to be so creative so you can imagine the story as you read. Dr. David Lewis, who conducted a 2009 study, explains that reading is an active engaging of the imagination as the words on the printed page stimulate your creativity and cause you to enter what is essentially an altered state of consciousness. Reading battles mental decline and dementia. Dementia is a general term for mental decline that offers difficulty thinking, remembering, or making decisions. Dementia mainly affects older adults. In 2022, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimated that 6.7 million adults living with dementia, and they expect that number to rise to 14 million by 2060. Probably because we don't read, I can assume. Numerous studies have indicated a link between reading and brain health. Studies consistently show that participating in activities that engage your brain, including reading, can help reduce the chance of developing dementia. A study published in 2010 assessed that 942 adults to determine the participating in hobbies reduce their risk of dementia. The study found that nearly 54% of those who did not develop dementia read books consistently, while about 39% of those who did develop dementia read books consistently. A study published in 2013 assessed that the cognitive activity of 1,651 participants over the age of 55. The study also found that those who engaged in mentally stimulating tasks like reading and writing throughout their life have had a much slower rate of mental decline, even when their brains show signs of damage. A study published in 2010 involved in the multiple observational studies on participants over the age of 60 and the influence of cognitive leisure activities, including reading, on the brain. 5 out of 6 studies showed that starting these activities in the middle adulthood reduced the risk of dementia, while 6 out of 7 studies showed that starting these activities later in life also reduced the risk of dementia. Reading is therapeutic for your mental health. Mental illness is one of the most significant medical crises facing Americans. Mental illness refers to the mental health conditions that affect your behavior, mood, thinking, such as addiction, anxiety, depression, mood disorders, and schizophrenia. According to the National Institute of Mental Health in 2022, nearly 23% of adults, 73 million people in the U.S. live with a mental illness. Only 47% with a mental illness receive mental health services. 6% of U.S. adults, 15.4 million people, have had mental health conditions that severely interfere with their everyday life. About 49.5% of U.S. adolescents living through 13 through 18 live with mental illness. About 21 million U.S. adults and 4.1 million adolescents aged 12 to 17 have had at least one major depressive episode. 19.1% of U.S. adults have had an anxiety disorder. From 31.9% of adolescents ages 13 to 18 have had an anxiety disorder. The stress reduction that reading offers can help enormously when you're already struggling with your mental health. But the benefits of reading extend beyond that, to the point of some doctors prescribe reading as a part of mental health therapy. It's called bibliotherapy. Bibliotherapy is a practice that uses books as a part of your therapy. Your mental health professional chooses the book, fiction or nonfiction, and as you read through the book, you discuss it together. Because bibliotherapy is usually used in other forms of therapy, it's hard to judge exactly how effective it is, but the benefits shown by bibliotherapy include developing empathy, enhancing self-awareness, increasing compassion, and promoting problem solving. How much reading should you do? There isn't much data about how much reading people should do every day. A 2009 study measuring reading and stress indicated that just 6 minutes a day could help stress levels. A 2010 study about hobbies and dementia showed the best results came from participating in a hobby for at least an hour a day. You don't want to add stress to your life by trying to fit in a certain amount of reading into your busy schedule every day. Instead, find places that can fit and adjust where you can. And there that is. So reading, try it, because mental health is so important as we speak about all of these tragedies and stories and things of that sort. I just found out one of my homies from college, someone who stayed in my dorm, I just found out he passed away last year because today was his birthday. And on Facebook, people were saying happy heavenly birthday. And I said, when did Kendall die? And I looked on his page and apparently he died like December, and Anthony passed, that's another one of my college classmates that stayed in the same dorm. So at least two in my dorm from freshman year are already off this earth. And I remember with one of them, people are just saying mental health. Sobering stuff, bro. Greta is being, this was something, bro. This was something. Hold on. Stop sharing. I'm gonna share again. We lost audio. Greta Thunberg, the activist, longtime activist and stuff like that. They said she was being tortured by Israeli captivity as revealed by fellow activists. They dragged little Greta by her hair before our eyes, beat her, and forced her to kiss the Israeli flag. They did everything imaginable to her as a warning to others.
Of Israel. I'm not scared of Israel. I'm scared of a world that has seemingly lost all sense of humanity. And what we are doing here is trying to show that there is still some humanity left, that there are still people willing to step up when all other means fail. But this is a last resort. This mission should not have to exist. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! The closer we get to Gaza, the higher is the risk of escalation and more attacks. The last weeks, we have seen numerous escalated attacks against our mission that has damaged several boats, where drones have been dropping explosions, chemicals, and unidentified objects on and around boats in a desperate attempt to intimidate us and to silence and scare those who are standing in solidarity with Palestine and to further dehumanize Palestinians.
So yeah, Turkish activists, some flotilla and participant, the Israelis dragged little Greta Thunberg by her hair before our eyes. They beat her and they forced her to kiss the Israeli flag. They did everything imaginable to her as a warning to others. Jeez Louise, man. Shouts out to Caribou, bro. Caribou did her she did her boiler room, and she was wearing like a Palestine shirt, and so was her DJ Hova. Shouts out to Hova as well, man. Man.
That they are only spoken.
Shout out to Chris Smalls as well. You know, I'm saying
not scared
he did
of
his thing and everything like that of earlier and being kind of captured, and before they let him go after a couple days, he tried to make an example out of him too. That's America's own right there, you know. Excuse me, sorry. She's been detained in an Israeli cell, infested with bed bugs and supplied with insufficient food and water, according to activists. Yeah, there it is, man. But then I seen something that said that she's good now. Let's see. I hope she's good. Update: Greta Thunberg is safe. But this looks like her in, right? This don't look like her in the cell or whatever. I don't know. When was she not safe? She has done this before, and she knows Israel will not harm her, and didn't. She didn't been taken to Egypt, but she knows about safety, so they chose Israel. Dang. Let me see. Glad to hear about her well-being, though her hair needs some saving. Well, come on, bro. What are we talking about? He's never in danger. Lee Malcolm, what's happening? Lee Malcolm just texted me. Shout out to Lee Malcolm, bro. He just shared with me his live stream of his church. Shout out my brother. I hope he's doing well. I haven't talked to him in months. But he always hits me up occasionally, every now and again, just to share with me his church's live stream, invite me out to his church. He shares his words and everything like that. So I appreciate him. You need people like that in your life for sure. Israel accused of detaining Greta Thunberg in a infested cell and making her hold flags. Exclusive activists tell Swedish officials that she's been subjected to harsh treatment, including insufficient food and water. The environmental campaigner Greta Thunberg told Swedish officials she's being subjected to harsh treatment in the Israeli custody after her detention and removal of flotilla of carrying aid to Gaza, according to the correspondence seen by The Guardian. According to the correspondence, hold on, who is this written by? Lorenzo Tondo, and Palomero, and Damian Carrington in London. According to the correspondence, Israeli forces are also reported by another detainee to have taken photographs where Thunberg was allegedly forced to hold flags. The identity of the flags are unknown. In an email sent to the Swedish Foreign Ministry to people close to Thunberg, seen by The Guardian, an official who has visited the activist in prison said that she claimed that she was detained in the cell of infested with bed bugs with too little food and water. The embassy has been met with Greta, reads in the email. She's been informed with dehydration. She has received insufficient amounts of food and water. She has also stated that she's developed rashes in which suspects were caused by bed bugs. She spoke of the harsh treatment. She said she's been sitting for long periods of time on hard surfaces. Another detainee reportedly told the embassy that they had seen her, Thunberg, being forced to hold flags while pictures were being taken. She'd wonder whether the images of her had been distributed. The Swedish ministry's official added the allegations were corroborated by at least 2 other members of the flotilla and had been tamed by Israeli forces and released on Saturday. They dragged little Greta, and we've seen that a bunch of times. Lorenzo, a journalist, and another flotilla participant said that after returning to Istanbul, that Thunberg had wrapped in the Israeli flag and paraded it like a trophy, a scene described with disbelief and anger by those who witnessed it. She was among 437 activists, parliamentarians, and lawyers who were a part of the Global Saman Flotilla, a coalition of more than 40 vessels carrying humanitarian aid, whose goal was to breach Israel's 16-year maritime blockade of Gaza. Between Thursday and Friday, Israeli forces intercepted all of the boats and arrested every crew member on board. Most of them are being held at Ketziat, also known as Ansar III, a high-security prison in Negev desert, used primarily to detain Palestinian security prisoners, many of whom Israel accuses of involvement in militant and terroristic activities. In the past, activists have been detained by Israel, were not criminally prosecuted, but instead their presence was treated as an immigration matter. According to the lawyers from the NGO, the rights of the crew members have been systemically violated, and activists deny water, sanitation, medication, and immediate access to their legal representatives, and a clear breach of the fundamental rights of due process, impartial trial, and legal representation. The Italian legal team representing Flotilla confirmed that the detainees were left for hours without food and water until late last night, with the exceptions of the packet of crisps that were handed to Greta and shown to the cameras. Lawyers reported instances of verbal and physical abuse. During the visit to Assad on Thursday night, Israel's far-right national security minister Isambar Ben Gvir was filmed calling the activists terrorists as he stood up in front of them. These are terrorists and flotilla, he said, speaking in Hebrew and pointing to the dozens of people on the ground. His spokesperson confirmed the video was filmed in Assad port on Thursday night. Some activists were heard shouting "Free Palestine." Ben Gvir was previously called for the activists to be jailed rather than deported. After their arrest, Flotilla's legal team expressed concern over the treatment of the crew members might face, particularly those who had previously been detained by Israeli authorities after their attempts to break Gaza's naval blockade. This marks the second time Thunberg has been arrested alongside her flotilla members after a similar attempt earlier this year ended with activists' arrest and deportation. Baptiste Andre, a French doctor who was on the boats with the flotilla in June, told reporters upon his return to France that he witnessed Israeli border agents mock and deliberately deprive passengers of sleep, in particular Thunberg. The Swedish official said in an email that Thunberg was asked by Israeli authorities to sign a document, quote unquote. She expressed uncertainty about what the document meant and did not want to sign anything that she did not understand, reads in the email. The Swedish ministry's officials wrote that Thunberg has had access to the legal counsel. Adela said in the earlier statement about the legal processes that although Israeli authorities would have a record of repeat participants in aid flotillas, activists such as Thunberg were genuinely treated in the same way as the first-time participants, subject to short-term detention and deportation. The Guardian contacted the Israel Prison Service, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, and Israeli Ministry for Foreign Affairs, but none of them have responded to requests for comment. The Swedish Foreign Ministry said its embassy officials have visited 9 detained Swedes on Friday. The Swedish embassy in Tel Aviv remains in contact with the Israeli authorities to stress the importance of swift processing and the possibility of returning home to Sweden. Based on the discussions with the detained individuals, the importance of addressing individual medical needs was also emphasized. Moreover, the embassy stressed that food and clean water must be provided immediately, that all detainees must be given access to Israeli legal counsel if desired. The Israeli embassy said that allegations were quote-unquote complete lies. All detainees from Hamas and Smud provocation were given access to water, food, and toilets. They were not denied access to legal counsel. All their legal rights, including access to medical care, were fully upheld. Israel, quote-unquote, is and will remain a state governed by the rule of law, committed to upholding the rights and the dignity of all individuals in accordance to international standards. So there that is. You have read 13 articles in the last year. He said, please support us. Okay. I got you. Eventually, The Guardian. eventually the Guardian, because I do be using y'all a lot, like as you pointed out. Let's go to some college football, shall we? Some college football drama and stuff like that. Fort Valley State didn't have his band high. They got into a fight after the game, and it's more than likely because they did not have. Here it is. Who is this? Who are they fighting against? Fort Valley State and Central State. Oh, I said Bethune because I seen a Bethune grad like comment on it. It wasn't even that bad. Oh, okay. I didn't see this part. I didn't see this part. Hey. I said it wasn't even that bad. Yeah, this is bad, bro. They all the way out on the track. Jeez, brother. Let me see the comments, man. I truly wish it didn't happen, let alone post it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, you know, you don't want it posted or anything like that. At the same time, bruh, it's like if I'm gonna do this, you gotta keep it going, bruh. Hold on. He said winning the fight, winning the game. He went to Bethune-Cookman. That's my dog. I grew up with him. Well, I wouldn't say that's my dog, but I grew up with him. I think it's the appropriate way to say it. Jeez Louise, my camera froze up. Sharing all of these tabs and things of that sort. Hold on, I'm trying to share this again. Give it a second. Okay, we still have it. All right. Okay, we're moving again. Okay. If I'm going to do that, then we got to do what's going on. Oh, Lord, what happened? Oh, my goodness, what happened to Virgil? This ain't it. This ain't the right thing. This is supposed to be happening later. It's supposed to happen later in the thing. I'm going to pull it up. Jeez, Louise, I lost it. All right, hold on. Give me a second here. Oh, my gosh, what happened to Virgil? All right, let me see. Okay. All right. We'll pull it up right here. We got it. All right, y'all ready? Shout out to AL. If we're gonna pull up the HBCU little conflicts and things of that sort, you gotta do it right here. Not just for HBCUs. That's why I didn't feel bad to post. You know what I mean? To react to it. Because it's also happening. And I'm ready. I'm 40. Diego is not no kid. Diego done been in college about 8 years. That man about 24, ain't he? Let me see. He said you talking to kids. Diego is 24, bro. He is not no kid. I know someone in the comments said that. Like, cause I was about to say the same thing. I said this a grown man yelling at a college kid. Bro, Diego 24, bro. Diego done played college football the last 9 years, bro. He said, keep buying your tickets. Keep buying your tickets. Gotta love Tuscaloosa. Can't talk all that stuff and expect people not to talk back when it's not backed up. Dude was going on 25 and in college that's qualifying for AARP. This dude definitely went to Alabama and got a business administration degree to work for his dad's company. It looks like Diego came up a bit short. It was about 100,000 of them. Dude may as well tattoo hate me on his forehead, roll tide. All right. The security guard is just standing there watching the whole thing, not doing a dang thing about it. He's actually not talking to a kid, Vandy Stafford. Why does it look like this type of dude who manages to get charges dropped? He was grabbing and taunting the fans. What do you expect? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Bro's just talking trash. I'm not gonna lie to you. He talking trash. He was talking trash back. And he not no kid. He 24. He talking trash, bro. And I'm all against that stuff, you know what I mean? But that's sports, bro. That's sports, bro. He talking trash to a 24-year-old that was talking mad trash about Vandy. About Bama, bro. And they fans, they team. He done brought Johnny Manziel on the field. By the way, here's Johnny Manziel snapping on the fans. Look at Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel snapping on the fans. This is why, I ain't have no problem sharing the Fort Valley thing. Because look at this. Look at what's going on in the SEC. It's Division One football. It's the SEC. You know what I'm saying? But Diego done did all that. He done talked cash money, boy, for the past year or whatever about Bama since they beat Bama last year, bro. Done did all that. Let the fan talk back to the boy. Talk back to the man. Excuse me. Let me not use boy. Let the fan talk back to the man, bro. He paid money. He talking trash. He say, yeah, you trash, boy. Go back to Nashville, huh? Yeah. And shut up the next time you talk about the Tide. I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, huh? Let the fan talk trash. He paid good money. Probably put a lot of money into the Alabama football program. Let him talk some trash, bro. He's not a kid. 24. Oh, yeah. I just pulled out. Hold on. Next thing. We're still in the world of college football. This is the last college football thing. And then I got to say something. UCLA, they stormed the field. Look at the security officer, bro. The closest person he try to get is a little girl, bro. She stumbles. The dad picks her up, and he can't catch. Bro, why is he hired? Who's y'all hiring for security? Y'all got these security people. They don't do the only thing security does, bro, is just say you can't sit here. You got to get up. You got to leave. That's all security do. Where your tickets? Oh, this ain't your tickets. I got to move you from the section. I'm sorry, bro. That's all they do. They don't do their actual job. They ain't getting tackle nobody. They can't stop nobody. They can't chase no little girl down. It's ridiculous. I'm doing these clips to show you that the chaos happens in Power 4 as well, bro. It just is what it is, man. Like, bro, couldn't catch up with the little girl, bro. Like, why? Like, there needs to be some type of fitness test if you're gonna be a security guard, bro. You got to pass this fitness test. If you can't pass the fitness test, you can't be a security guard. You need to be an usher. You need to be a ticket person. You don't need to be no security guard, bro. You know what I mean? Invest in your security, dude. While we on college football, man, I want to close with this for the college football segment and things of that sort. Prayers up to Deion Sanders, who said he feels like he has more blood clots. The team has lost again. They've fallen to 2-4 on the year. It's been an ugly season. They haven't had a stable quarterback. They haven't had stable anything within the program. And it started off rocky, and it's continuing to go rocky. And yeah, that's just what it is. But prayers up to Deion's health, everything like that. You don't want anybody to suffer. You know what I'm saying? And I know I have friends saying something about me, like when I was talking about Shadur, like standing up for Shadur. They're like, "Why you standing up for Shadur?" This and that. It's like it's a human element, like, bro. Like, it ain't no real hate. It's like some like on some petty stuff. You know what I mean? And that's not Christ-like. On a Sunday morning. Yeah. I had to slip something in on a Sunday morning, man. The cool kicks, man, and got arrested, man. They covering it up. Like, it's a full-on investigation. This joke is just selling fake shoes. He got arrested on live. He said, "I'll be back." No, you won't. Dang, this man got arrested on live. They got him backing up like he did. That man was selling them fake shoes, and then they show Kai Cenat wearing them. I think he's wearing like Red Octobers, bro, on the Shay Shay interview, and the piece fell off. They said it makes sense now. Got them cool kick shoes. Them cool kick things, they be like, your total is $21,000. And they be like, okay. And they do it. That's junk crazy. Anyways, we're going to end with the DDG-Cinco DDG drama. We did a lot of serious stuff. let me get the unserious stuff out the way, man. Entertainment purposes only. J-Cinco and Dub getting into a heated argument. It's all clip. Why are you arguing with your homie who making more money though? I feel like they made him. They trying to say they made him, and that's corny. I leave too. Facts. Even the cameraman couldn't stay neutral. Doug was cooking way too hard. But why are you arguing? Like, you know what I'm saying? If this supposed to be your friend, bro, you know what I'm saying? If this supposed to be your friend, why are you trying to downplay your friend's money? I got into, you know what I'm saying, with my friend over some stuff of like, I felt like he was trying to overcompensate on some stuff and trying to downplay everybody else's career directly. You know, this was job conference, stuff like that, everything like that. And we argued about that. But we arguing about like, bro, folks is accomplished in this room, bro. We all accomplished. So why are you trying to down talk on everybody else's accomplishments? You know what I'm saying? To overcompensate for what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have to be like that. But folks won't talking about no money. I feel like when you talk about money, you patronizing someone, you know, literally. Like looking down on, oh, you're not as good as us because you wasn't making as much money as us. So you can't talk to us because you ain't making money like us. That's not a talk you have to your friend, bro. If this is supposed to be your friend, your business partner, everything like that, that's not the way that it's supposed to go. So we started off with that. J-Cinco versus DDG and Dub and stuff like that. Here we go. Hmm. Okay. Well, let me see the rest of these clips. I wish I want to watch the full. I'm gonna watch the full thing off stream. I can't watch it on stream because they're gonna copyright me. But yeah. Okay. It's interesting though. It's an interesting start. I ain't gonna lie. That is crazy, bro. If you fall out with someone you considered a friend or you labeled as a friend, someone who helped you, okay, I think both sides is wrong. I'm gonna say it like this. Dub and DDG are wrong talking down on someone who's supposed to be their friend because of the amount of money they're making. At the same time, Cinco can recognize Dub and DDG have helped me make money and they have helped me, elevate in my career and stuff like that. And we've made bread together. We've had a successful business partnership and things of that sort, doing content and everything like that together. We can agree on that, right? So I appreciate them. Even though it didn't work out, I ain't like the way they was talking to me. I ain't like the way they disrespect me. It's like working at a job, right? You have a manager. The manager hired you, right? So you get this raise, you get this new salary. Say you're making more money than you ever made in your career. You always going to appreciate that person for giving you the opportunity to make more money than you ever made in your whole career. But if they start disrespecting you and talking down on you, patronizing you as a human, as a grown adult that pays bills, you're going to feel away. You're going to leave. At the same time, it's always going to be a part of you that's like, I'm thankful that you gave me this opportunity. Thank you. I made more bread than I've ever made in my life. And it would have been possible for to even have these new opportunities moving forward if it wasn't for the opportunity and the door you opened for me. I feel like you have to have, if you're Cinco, some sort of humility still in the midst of all of this for the opportunity that they gave you. You know what I mean? And I think that's where, I'm saying, Cinco is wrong in the situation. Dub and DDG are wrong in the part of just talking down on friends and everybody else that comes across them that says something they don't like and responding with money. There is no, I'm better than you, this and that. Like, money don't make you better than somebody. And that's what people have been trying to tell DDG and Dub for both years, but they don't care. They just don't care who they are. Shout out my brother Tyler Guy, man. I hope you're doing well, brother. Facts. I argue with my friends all the time. I'm not gonna go repost everything negative about my former homie after we had a falling out. That's crazy. That's mad weird, bro. My friends don't even like when I relatively mention the situations and you know what I'm saying, and they watch the videos or they watch the streams. They text me, "Oh, I caught the shade." You know what I mean? This and that. I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I apologize. You know what I mean? I was just speaking about a certain situation and reminded me of, you know what I'm saying, the real thing. I ain't mentioned no names, this and that. I apologize, this and that. Ooh. But like reposting stuff directly about, like, that's crazy. Like, that was never your friend to begin with. And that's what Cinco said. All he is hurt, which is crazy. Like, I don't care how bad I fall out with someone. If we were friends, if we was real cool at some point, we always like, for this point in my life, you meant this much to me still. I got a friend that used to be my best friend, bro, in college, posting about, you know what I'm saying, Charlie Kirk, Candace on, you know what I'm saying, a lot of MAGA ideology that I feel like is counterproductive and harmful to the safety of Black people and everything like that, Black and brown communities, everything. But I say Black because I'm Black. And it's like, despite that, you were still my best friend. You still held me down. We still had great memories and great times and great years where you meant a lot to me and you held me down at an important time in my life where I was vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how we split up right now, like, I still appreciate that time in my life. And I'll always have that respect for people I was once cool with. So I'm saying on Cinco's end, that's messed up that you're doing this to your former homies. Yeah. DDG's got a point there. However, he does kind of go crazy. This was his response. Baby Rich, boy, friend of the channel, by the way. Baby Rich, boy, you ugly, boy. Nah, Baby Rich is ugly, bro. Shout out Baby Rich. He funny though, man. Baby Rich funny. Shout out Alabama, bro. He a funny dude, man. Oh, okay. It's just replaying. Samaya. That was an interesting kind of connection she was trying to make there. But yeah. Let's go to the next scene. Some of these clip pages you gotta be careful of. They don't be talking about knowing what the clip was or out of context and stuff like that. That's weird. Was beefing. Facts. Facts. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you when I'm with you. Where we at? Well, I didn't even know what I was sharing. Okay. Agreed with DJ Ghost and McQueen and DDG. Right. Facts. Oh, snap. Um, so I guess that's his way of telling the internet, he he can still see his son and things of that sort. Hold on, wait till the thing. We got 2 minutes left. I got 2 minutes left. Things of that nature. Hold on, let me see. All right, bet. All right, DDG response to Ben. I have no clue what this is about. So he was saying that they wouldn't let me in the club type deal. I guess I didn't even see it. Woo! All right, there's a lot going on, bro. There's a lot. We just saw. All right, and then and Cinco, he showed their text. It's just a real messy breakup. Bro, I feel like breakups with your homies, with dudes, be more hurtful than like breakups of other stuff. I don't know if this is real now because clip season be lying. I said I ain't never seen the dude say this in an argument, not on boo boo. But I'm gonna replace your bag with Reggie and piss you off even more, Mr. Crip. I'm on a boo boo. So it's me, Derek, Doug, Rich, maybe T.O., Kelly, and Reggie. All right. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, it's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Having a breakup with your homie. You know, you see what's going on with Doug and how he feels about Gunna. Like he really heard about Gunna and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, just hope. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. They all rich. They all rich and successful. What I'm saying, I hope for the best for them and they feelings and stuff like that. They rich. Cinco just bought a car. People like, oh, he broke. It's a $55,000 car. I can't buy no $55,000 car right now, cash. I can't. And he bought a new chain. Like that's more money than what I got. And that's more money than most of us have right now. Of like, you know, just buying some cash off the lot. You know what I mean? So. Like, who am I to be like, oh, bro, like, he only bought a $55,000 car? Like, come on, bro. Like, what are you saying? These boys are successful, everything like that. Their feelings is hurt, so I just hope their feelings, you know what I'm saying, are less hurt. Big Nate, appreciate you holding it down in the chat this morning. Y'all enjoy the game today, which is happening in about 3 hours. And then y'all enjoy NFL football that starts in an hour. If you're watching the NFL, if you don't, I understand. And yeah, we will be back either tonight or tomorrow. Maybe tonight, post game 2 type show. It wouldn't be immediately after because I'll still be working the NFL and things of that sort at the time. But maybe after I'm off and stuff like that, I'll do a game 2 delayed show and stuff like that. So y'all, please take care of yourselves. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Have a good day. Nobody else told you today. I care for you. Happy Sunday. And please take care of your.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.